Hello.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Good, you?
Good. That's a nice new video. I like it.
Well, it's just to get people to have time to come on, right?
Yes. How is
We do
everybody?
it like that on Friday. I made a new one for Friday too. Hi, everybody. Some
Hello.
familiar faces, or thumbnails, I should say. Welcome. So, is it still a holiday for you guys?
No, it is not. Yesterday was Memorial Day for us.
So you guys are back to work today?
Yes, most everybody's back at work. They either got Friday or Monday off as their holiday.
Oh, you can switch it up. Hawaii, hello, hello. It is not Hawaii weather over here in Quebec. And Amy was saying it chilled up a bit where she is as well.
Yeah, it was so strange, especially since I saw on the news that the West Coast is having a massive heat wave. They're like 15 degrees higher on average right now than normal. I was shocked because we were so cold this weekend.
Oh, sorry, you're at the doctor's, Jennifer.
You're going to get good news, Jen. You're going to get good news.
Well, yes, positive thoughts.
Right.
So, Amy, did you want to go first? I don't know what you're working on. We didn't really talk about it.
I can, but I went first last time. If you want to go first,
I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
Yeah, and I'm going to do some patriotic cookies because we have 4th of July coming up here.
Oh, yes.
So I thought I would get a head start on some of those.
Lots of summer, festivities are coming up. Our Canada Day is the 1st of July. No Hawaii here for sure, yes. Hello, Julie.
Julie, you know those extra lives? I'm just popping on whenever I have something ready to go. So that's why I was sending you guys the notices and stuff in case you wanted to pop on. I had so much fun, Mar. It was so cold that we couldn't be outside to get together for Memorial Day with my family. So my sister and I popped on and I did a cookie that she requested.
Oh, that's
you know how last week we were talking about that cryptocurrency?
Oh, yes.
Right. So my sister's really into that. And she requested that I do the Shibu Inu coin. So I made that for her on Sunday. We popped on a live. So it was fun to have her visit with me.
Good luck, Jeremy.
Oh, don't stress.
Well, that's fun. I mean, it's basically how we're connecting with our family. So, I mean, it is,
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'll go first. So the first thing I just want to talk to you guys about is a product that I had and I just kind of dusted off. Let me add my hands to the stream. So I buy different things, and so I just want to show you guys so that you don't buy this. So I get a lot of questions with regards to the plastic that I use. Hello, Amber. So I get a lot of questions about the plastic that I use. And some time ago, I had purchased this, at the beginning of my kind of stencil adventure, let's call it.
Oh.
And it's fine. It's not that it's like bad, but it really does not wash well.
Oh.
So that's what I want. Now my camera let me just get it back. Okay, yeah, so it does not wash well. It buckles and bevels and gets all weird once it's been wet for some reason. So if you can avoid it, like if you've got it, use it up, but it's not ideal. And if the water is even slightly warm, it's like it makes a shrinky dink. I don't know if you know what a shrinky dink is. So
yes. We made those. Do you remember making those things that you would like color them and then put them in the oven on cookie
That's
sheets?
exactly a shrinky dink.
Yeah, we did a lot of those. We made Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So in my coffee shop, you'll find the templates for a bunch of like these two here, and then this kind of information sheet. And then I have a stencil file. So we're just going to look at a few things. So last week somebody requested eyes, so I thought I'd look at that today. Now, if you haven't drawn, if you're not like I'm a an amateur crafter, artist, whatever, when I was in high school, they gave us the basics of drawing faces. And I was surprised. My daughter had art all through high school and they never taught her the basics of face drawing.
Oh.
And obviously you slice a face down the center. I mean, when you're doing a face like you're drawing or a craft, you want it symmetrical. Human faces are not really symmetrical, you know, if you really, but the point is you're kind of like flipping it over. And then the eyes are dead center in an oval. Usually they're dead center. They're not like when we look at ourselves, we think they're a little bit more at the top, but actually they're more towards the middle.
Right.
And then the bottom of the face is split in half. So from the eyes to the chin, the nose is about half there, and then the mouth. And so the nose is usually the width of the eye gap. Okay, so this, I'm just telling you guys like some rules to get your faces kind of looking a little bit more. Sometimes maybe you make a cookie and you're like, it looks a little weird. Well, sometimes it's just little adjustments that can make the big difference, you know? Like here is a snowman, and I just laid on top my rules. This is an older cookie that I did, and you can see like the jelly bean width is, you know, the width between those eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's a ball head, not an oval, well, then it's a little bit of a different thing. Like these are general rules. Obviously, you know, you adjust for each design, but see, he's a snowman, so he's got more of like a ball-shaped head. Here's a cat, and you can see again, there's a bit of a, like, the thing is with cartoons, you can have a super big eye. Here he has a tiny nose. The gap is wider, but still the eyes are in the middle of the head. If you look at the head here, the eyes are in the middle. The thing, if you have the app, the Procreate app, or you're drawing out your cookies, it's always nice to kind of sketch these things out so that your stuff just looks kind of right. The rabbit, I had played a lot with this rabbit when I drew it, and I looked at actual rabbits, and their eyes are really to the side of their heads.
Right.
And so I pushed them, I guess, to the extreme. And so that's it. It's just each project is a little bit different, but I just wanted to walk you through this kind of general rule. And it really is very, very helpful to draw your stuff out if you're working on faces. Here are these eyes. Now I've got these in the supply list, and these make for some really funky looking cookies. Now, if you've ever used them, but if you look at them, they're not bad, but what's wrong with them? If you look at them, why do they look weird? Well, there's no there's no color. There's no, like, you know what I mean? Like if you have this white eye and you have no pigment around the pupil, that's what's causing them to look so bizarre. So here, this one, I just took my marker and sketched around that pupil that was put on. Like this is a commercial thing. It's made by machines. I guess they squirt them out somehow. And I'm just drawing a blue circle around that black pupil, and it's proving trickier than I thought. But so then it makes it look a little bit more, I want to say, normal. So you could do green ones, brown ones, whatever, and you're seeing a little bit more like these homemade ones, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a great idea to add that color. It looks beautiful like that.
Well, it looks a little like nobody has these big white eyeballs
right.
With right? That's why it looks so weird.
And they stand up so tall, right? You have to really sink them.
Well, you have to put them in icing. You can't rest them on top. So here is the eye sheet. And this sheet here is for all different size cookies. Now, sometimes you need something very small and a bigger one. So I'm going to make the bigger ones just to demonstrate for you guys. Now, you want an icing that's on the thick side because you need these to stay round, right? So if you have a really runny icing, it's not going to stay puffy. So you can either go just past your dot, or you can stay within. So you're starting at the center, and you can kind of jiggle your piping tip in the icing, and you want to expand your icing. You don't want to draw a circle. It's much easier to make a round by expanding from the center. And now I'm inserting again, jiggling my black in there. And I'm just letting it build out until it's the size that I want it to be.
And Mark, Jeremy's asking is if the eye sheets and the face template are part of the coffee shop today.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. And so now you can be done, okay? But it's nice at this point, if you're, you know, detail person, right at the seam between the green and the black or whatever eye color you select, to add a little reflection. So I usually do a big and a small, and it just makes the eyes look a little bit more, I want to say, alive. Here you can see the little reflection, and it's a little detail. And so you don't want to make a ton of eyes on the sheet and come back and do the white. You need to do like maybe, you know, 8 and then do that little bit. So that's that shaped eye. And then we have these shaped eyes. So all, you know, critters and cartoons and different things. So this eye here is a little bit kind of, I find it looks like a little bit more of a smiling eye. So this one here, you're going to have to shape it a little bit more like than the circle one, because it's just a slightly bit different than that initial one. So each one has to be kind of looked at. You know, they're all made differently, so you're going to work. Like the other circle works, but this, if you want to get that kind of shape. And now, more towards the bottom, I'm going to add my little pupil. And you could do this in white and then come in with the green, and, you know, you can play with the different versions. We'll do another one in a second just to show you guys what I'm talking about.
I like that rounded.
Again, with the little reflection like that. And this is great too, because if you have duds, well, you can just throw them out. They might not all turn out, but you can pick your good ones. So I'm just outlining, whoops. I'm working upside down, so it's not always easy. So I'm just filling in here the white, and then I'm going to drop my green pupil in. I didn't see what you just put up there, Amy.
It was a compliment. Such a great source. Excellent advice and information, Mark.
I can't hear you, Amy.
Oh.
We're having sound problems again. All right, so now I'm dropping in the pupil into the white icing. And you can see the difference between the two versions. You see this all green version, and then this one here with a bit of white around it. And I'm immediately dropping in my pupil, and then again grabbing the white to add that reflection between the black and the green, you see? And you get a completely different look. I find this would be looking more cartoony. This, if you're doing like a person, more like a dog, let's say. And this, I don't know too many dogs that have green eyes, but
there's a few.
I don't know why we're having sound issues. Earlier when we were talking before the live started, I couldn't hear her, and now again I can't hear her. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can you hear Marlon too, you guys?
Well, I'm going to continue, and then I'll leave. But I'm going to continue, and when I'm done, Amy will be able, as long as you guys can hear. So now the cat version, you could do exactly the same thing, have the white. Well, this is also like a human eye. So you can kind of just draw the football out. Focus more here on the points, on the outer like little point areas. And then in the center, where am I here? So in the center, you can do your little pupil, you see? And then just jiggle it a little bit so that it all sets together. And then you can come in and add the pupil and the reflection like the other ones. So you can practice your designs, the versions. Han had suggested in a previous live, she does her stuff on a piece of wax paper and rests it on the cookie to see which one she prefers.
Oh.
So these are the two versions. And then I cut the stencil. So those files are in the coffee shop as well. And you want to format them to fit your cookie. So I had these little ovals made. So you can see here. Now this version, has the eyes stenciled on, okay? If you look, I did white, and now I'm taking my grayish black icing, and I'm just on the outer edge of the stencil, which is dry now, okay? And I'm going to add my pupil on top.
Julie.
You don't want to go too big. These are small cookies. This is an oval or an Easter egg, I think, actually. And when they're this small, the reflection might not be possible. I'm not going to complete the whole face.
Can you see what he's saying? Jeremy.
I'm focused on my trying to get the information out, and I'm not hearing Amy, so I'm not seeing your questions, but I'll read them after. So please forgive me if I seem disconnected to what you guys are talking about. And now I'm just outlining the cookie, and it looks weird until usually like you fill it in, and then the eyes look a little bit more inset. Now I'm not doing the rest of the face. If you wanted, you could add a little support, like when we do the flowers, you know, the dry royal icing flower middles, you could put a little one where the nose would be, and that would create like a little bump there. So if you like a little bit more of a discreet looking nose that isn't so big, that's a good way to do it. So you see how this now kind of puts the eyes a little bit more inset inside the head. They maybe are a little bit big, but depending on the character that you're going for, I'm going to give them a little shake here. And you can see once this would be done, you'd add like a fringe here and the lips.
Right.
That's kind of the proportions. And now also that black line is half the size. And the eyeliner there becomes half the size. You see half of it gets hidden in that brown icing. And so it looks like
Right.
more like it's less apparent. Because when you have a super black, thick outline on the eyes, it makes the eyes look really bizarre.
Right.
Okay, now this one here, this is probably one of the easier ways. So what you do here, this is a stencil version, and I've airbrushed the design on the cookie, okay? And now where the eyes are, I'm coming in with my white icing, okay? And I'm able to just fill in that white area of the eye. And then I'm gonna grab the skin color, and this is, if you struggle with eyes, this is the version that you want to focus on. If you have a cutting machine, and now immediately I'm outlining those eyes and the head. And what's going to happen is it's basically wet on wet with these white kind of eye shapes. And once this is dry, well, you're able to, since it's all going to lay flat, you'll be able to come in and airbrush the lashes, the pupil, the eyebrows, everything will be done in one fell swoop. You align the stencil, which was positioned initially, and I was able to pipe those white dots exactly to size. So now I would be using the same stencil on top to finalize the eyes. And this is probably the easiest version. So you shake it so that it's all level, so it will dry completely flush. Everything will be the same flat. Then you can rest your stencil on and airbrush your eyes, the lashes, the pupil, everything will align perfectly. Now I can't airbrush it. I'll maybe, once it dries, I'll post a picture, but this is the easiest one to get the most controlled looking like eyes, because it's the same stencil I'd be using. you can kind of see it if I tilt it there. We get the lashes in there, everything. This is also in the coffee. So you just rest it over, aligns perfectly, exactly the right size, and you get your eyes. This one here, I just wanted to show. This one here is basically the little football shape. And then once it crusted, I filled around it in the black. So I'm going to go back and read. So I have like this is throwing me off kilter. I have to tell you guys, we started, we could hear each other, and now like we can't. So it's kind of making me a little bit, but so the eyes for this one, just to quickly show you this version, and then I'll just show you the other thing I had.
Hey, Joanne.
So you could just come in and do the same like we did on the Royal Icing transfer sheet, or you could do it on the cookies. You see I'm adding the white areas on the eyes. And so you want to pipe your eyes on the cookie and not on the face colored icing. If you're piping on the face colored icing, well, you're creating an extremely bulgy eye, which is what is probably causing your problem, looking like your cookie's looking a little bit strange. Eyes are inset. Our eyes are inside our heads, not on top of our skin. So you have to look at it that way. So now the eyes are there. I can come in. I'm just inserting kind of the black in there. And then you can wait for it to crust, or you can outline right away. And you want to test the eye size.
Hey, Fabiola.
For your like size cookie. Now the cartoony stuff can have an oversized eye, but if you're looking for something realistic, you want to keep the eyes, you know, on more of like the proportionate size. They're not that big. Like the forehead looks big, but if I was to have a fringe there, it wouldn't look as strange. He or she is looking a little bit strange, but again, once this is done, you could come in with a marker and add the lashes and add the details. Avoid on something this small piping a line of like eyeliner or lashes. It's just too big. You come in with a super fine marker to add these types of fine detail. Okay, so that's here. Let's bring them in. So this one here, I'm not going to do right now. I'll stencil it later and show you guys a picture, and you can see here the other two versions. But what I've got here to show you, I'm just going to pull them out quickly. I have a couple of minutes. I have a bunch of cookies from old videos that I thought I'd pull out. So here's the pig. His eyes are, so I airbrushed a gray kind of guide, and then I piped his eyes. So he's a piped dot, but look at his nose. His eyes are just above the width of his nose. This here is from a stencil. So this is Killer Zebra, and this stencil is great because you can just quickly shoot the face and you have the eyes there. I piped the pupil. I don't know that it's that necessary. This guy here is a black pearl. So this is an 8mm pearl and a jelly bean nose. Six Slips has a black version, and those are great because they're a lot easier on the teeth. So here are kind of like a green dot with the black, and you can see what that looks like. PME, yes, the 8mm is PME. So you see the eyes. Again, I had piped a circle or airbrushed a circle, and then I just piped that green. Here is a Halloween version. So what I did for these eyes is I brushed the icing on the cookie.
Oh, they're cool.
And then left the eyes kind of not there. And so I piped around, and then you get a different looking eye, a more scary eye. What else here? This is the same thing for these guys. It was a brushed on icing and then a bigger hole. Where is an 8mm pearl? Oh, here's Elsa. See, that's an airbrushed eye. You can control much more the finished product with an airbrushed eye. Oh, here's a shark. You can see here, like that's an 8mm pearl. 8mm pearl. Just to give such a different look. Oh, here's the 4mm pearl. You
Nice.
see?
Mm-hmm.
And oh yes, this guy here is a little winking eye. You see? So it gives them a different look. Oh, Frank, I thought I'd pull Frank out. So Frank here, his eyes were also made royal icing transfers. Those are all old videos. If you look in the old stuff, you'll find these videos. This one here is a 4mm pearl. So that's it. Like the pearls are a great option, but it gives a different look, you know, like the 8mm pearl. I'm just showing off. I show off every week. So you want to have the 8 and the 4 just because it changes the face, the size of that pearl. And sometimes the 4mm is just too small and it gives your character a weird kind of look. See Santa here? This was also just airbrushed circles and then piped on top. So that's it. That's basically the gist of it. In the coffee shop, you'll find the template if you want to pipe your royal icing transfer eyes. If you want to cut stencils, that's there as well. You can design your own eyes and make stencils. Eyebrows, I find airbrushed eyebrow gives the best overall, like kind of polished look. You can control the size. Let's see Elsa here. You see her eyebrows, and eyebrows make a face.
Right.
And you know, if they were piped, it would just look big and weird on the face. These are it's cookies. It's small. So as soon as something is big, it makes it look very strange. So that's it, guys. I hope that was useful. I'm going to reread your comments. It's a bit unusual of a live. And so, Amy, I cannot hear you. You take it away.
Well, guys, I'm glad you can hear us both. And I can hear Mar just fine. So hopefully she'll be able to come back off and then back on so she can hear.
I can do this. I can switch you. I can do the camera dance. You know the routine. I'm gonna, while you've got manning the show, I'm gonna leave for a moment and try to come back and see if the sound will be resolved.
Okay, sounds good. Well, guys, I just thought it might be nice if you like the Patriotic Cookies, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, anytime in the summer. It's just fun to do these. So I thought I would do a little bit of playing with airbrushing today. So in your coffee shop, I had a couple of requests last week to separate the supply list from the royal icing transfer templates. I had originally put them together for you guys so that you wouldn't have to do 2 downloads. So the way I fixed that, if you want just the supply list, it's in my coffee shop. Let me flip that up really quick. It's in the coffee shop, and there's a free download of just the supply list. So this, if you go here, you can get just, oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, yay. That was so strange, wasn't it? So it's on the list this week 2 ways. So if you want just the supply list, it's totally free, or there's a donation thing there. If you do want to donate, you have that ability. So you can go there. Or I put the supply list and my 3 royal icing transfer templates together. So I think I solved that issue. That way, if you don't want to do 2 downloads, you don't have to, and you can still get the supply list for free today, okay? So I thought we'd just do a couple of cookies to get you thinking about 4th of July, since it's going to be here before you know it. These things just keep popping up on us so fast. So on your supply list today, I've got the royal icing colors plus the airbrush colors, and then I've linked you some stencils. So I linked you just a basic stripe stencil because it's more, today I just want you to think outside the box, and it's more about getting a little artsy with your cookies, I guess. I don't want this to specifically look like the exact American flag. So I've got this cool stencil here with assorted stars. That's on there for you. This one is not linked on your list. I just want to talk you through how to do this if you really want to make a mini American flag. There is a stencil that's got the stars and the stripes together. I have no idea where this came from. I've had it a really long time, but I just want to talk you through how you would accomplish that. This was so easy though, you guys. I had this entire set of cookies. I just flooded them all, outline and flood, all in white icing. So it went super fast. Like I have a huge stack. And I just want to show you how fast airbrushing could be. If you want to make a lot of these, it'll be a little bit more profitable for you. So if you do want to do this particular one more like a flag, I'm going to talk you through that one. We're not actually going to do that today, but you would need a blocker. So you would just block this part off, and then you could spray your blue, your royal blue airbrush color here. And then you could use like the whipped white or the bright white, or Mar, don't you use the Wilton white to do airbrushing with? And you like that?
I do.
So that's a really nice one too, because you're going to want it to show up. So you would do this in 2 layers, right? You could still base ice your cookie in white. Then you'd put a stencil blocker up, spray in blue, let that dry. And then you would come back with this stencil and you could spray your stars with the white. And then, so that's how you would work if you want to break down a larger stencil like this to use on a smaller cookie. But what we're going to do today is just have some fun with stars and stripes all together. And I made plenty of cookies. So if in the process of doing this, you want me to switch over to another cookie with a certain color, just let me know and I'll do that for you. And this is my stencil holder, Mar. This one came from AliExpress. I really like it
too.
I like it. It's so handy. And the magnets is that the same one?
It is the same one. This, the price difference on this compared to the one that's like kind of, I mean, I think this was $4.
Yeah, I feel like mine was very inexpensive. Yes. Yeah, I really and I like it. The magnets are really good strength in it too.
Just so you guys see though, like if you look at my little picture, you can see there's like, and that size difference, sometimes it does matter depending on the size of your cookie, you know?
Right. You know, I usually use that adjustable one that you told me about from Stencibel. Is that right?
That's from Sweet Sugar Bell.
Sweet Sugar Bell. Yeah, that's the one I normally use, is that one. But this just came in recently, so I'm going to give this a try today. And so I think, guys, the main thing on here you need to be careful with when you're doing stencils, right, is that you want to make sure that the pressure from your air gun doesn't blow these little stripes around, right? Because we want a nice clean line. So I'm just going to start with red today, if that's okay with you guys. Does that sound good?
Have you tried with the mesh?
I ordered a roll of the silk screen, and I'm just going to cut it and add it to my existing stencils. So yeah, I am going to be trying it, but I have not yet.
Okay.
I did want to ask you today, though, since you brought that up, they seem to have varieties. And look, Mar, just so that you know, this is real airbrush color. So you remember when I had my little airbrush issue, you guys?
Yeah.
I actually grabbed one of the small containers and put gel in, and that's why it wouldn't spray that day. Do you remember? And I just kept going when I was doing my bee cookies. But that's what
the models are exactly the same.
I'm sorry? Yes, except for the lids. And I just grabbed something and I wasn't paying attention, but I had never done that before. So I was kind of freaking out. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just put stripes on my whole cookie. And because the weight of the stencil frame is holding it down, can you see I'm just doing a light buildup? I'm not actually needing to hold any of these stripes. But again, we talk about this a lot. I kind of feel like that's because I'm using this cordless airbrush gun. And it doesn't, I don't feel like this moves as much as a stationary. It doesn't have as much pressure. Is that the right word, Mar?
Exactly. The compressor is not as powerful, but it's a cookie. You don't need like this super industrial thing, you know?
So I'm just here building up in light layers to get some stripes. And then I'm going to lift straight up. And hopefully I'm not going to have a lot of underspray. So look. That's beautiful. We got nice crisp lines. So it's so pretty, right?
Kind of looks like a whale.
Not too shabby that I got no underspray on this, but I was concerned. So I'm going to show you on another cookie. I'm going to put this right back down. Now, also, it appears that it is sitting really nicely on this as well because the weight of the frame's pulling it down. But if it had not, or my cookie was bumpy or something like that, I would just be using my scribe to gently, and probably this end so it's not pointy, I would be using this to hold it in place. The other thing I'm not doing is I'm not shooting air in this direction, which would make them ripple. I'm going, working from left to right. So depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you'll want to adjust that too. And I'm probably 6 inches back from my cookie, and I'm just building up in light layers. Mark, can you give them some tips about bagging cookies with airbrush color, and maybe tell them about the not freezing them? I'm pretty sure that's one of the things.
Yeah, so when you freeze a cookie, or anything actually, when you take it out of the freezer, there's condensation, moisture that forms on the surface. Airbrush and water do not go well together. If an airbrush surface gets wet, it just gets basically ruined. And so you don't want to thaw out an airbrush cookie. You can freeze them and airbrush them. I mean, it doesn't take long if you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And so you can kind of airbrush them in the morning and let them make sure they're dry, and then airbrush them and then bag them.
So they could even pre-make this, flood with white, freeze it. Exactly. And then the airbrushing, because it goes so fast, they could pull them out, thaw them, and then do the airbrushing, right?
Yeah.
And that would be okay?
Yes. And you can do a very light dusting with a puffy brush of cornstarch on them. Like when they're dry, you don't want to do that on a wet airbrush. When they're dry, a light dusting of the cornstarch, and that seems to help when it comes to like a moisture transfer to the bag. Mm-hmm. So those two little kind of things there, like if you're wanting to make them in advance, that could be helpful.
Okay, and let me show you another quick trick if you're airbrushing. Do you see both of these are the same cutter? But on my right-hand side, is that showing up on the right side of the screen for you, Mark?
Yeah.
This one? Okay, so this cookie, I ice the top of the cookie. So, sometimes people tell me they have trouble, they get rounding. I don't get too much of that, as you can see here. But if that's a problem you have and it creates a hump and then it makes it difficult for you to airbrush, if you flip the cookie over and ice the bottom, if you prep for that, knowing you might have that issue, it makes it go so fast. Now, clearly, if you know you're going to flip your cookie and ice it and you want to do the United States, you have to bake it, right? You have to bake it the opposite direction so that you can then flip it. So you have to take those things into account. But if you're new to airbrushing, and we've been trying to get everybody to experiment with it, then that's also a helpful tip. So we're going to do one more of these, and I have to work in a little diamond dust today. So we're going to hit this with some stripes, but I don't want it to be too perfectly lined up with the shape of the star. Hey, and Mar, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 airbrushes here, so I don't have to stop. Isn't
Awesome.
that amazing?
Awesome.
So your tips and tricks come in so handy. I don't have 7. I can't do the rainbow, but I've got 3 rolling.
Well, that's already a great start. So Debbie's asking, as you made a big order from AliExpress, she's talking about freight from Wish. Did you pay freight with that?
Well, my AliExpress things, I didn't have any, but for this, I bought so much I had no freight. Like a lot of those shops on AliExpress, you either have to get to a certain quantity or a certain dollar amount before you get the free freight. And I don't order on Wish too much anymore because most of the stuff that I really like is on AliExpress. But Wish is the same way. There's usually coupons or you order up to a certain amount. And let me show you something on here because it's a star. It should be sparkly. So we're going to just build up another layer of this color because we're going to be done using the star stencil after this. And I did test this, you guys. I was able to do 12 cookies before I felt like I need 12 cookies with glitter before I felt like I needed to change out and go clean the stencil, okay? Now, I'm spraying red glitter on here. That's not on your supply list. I just want to show you on one half of the cookie with the Christmas red, and in the other half of the cookie, I'm going to show you what gold looks like on top of the red because it's just so pretty, right? It also looks super nice with white and silver diamond dust. But look how it fades in and you get that nice sparkle.
That might be a Christmas project. June wants to know why you're going up and down versus side to side with your stripes.
Up and down? What do you mean?
I guess she's saying like you're not following the stripe.
Oh, because I'm keeping my airflow moving in a certain direction so I don't waffle my stripes.
Okay.
And that's keeping me from having to hold them down. That's just what's working for me. I mean, I'm sure there's a billion ways to do this and combinations, but what I found when I was testing, this is a very, I don't know the millimeters on stencil material, but can you guys tell how thin this one is?
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably actually a crafting stencil, not a cookie stencil. Well, no, it is not. It's a cookie stencil, but it's just super thin compared to the other ones I'm used to using.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
these thinner ones, when they're not joined, when there's no bridge and the bridge connects small areas, when there's not a bridge, they just tend to blow around more. Now, today my cookies are nice and tall, so the weight of the stencil frame is holding it down, but it isn't always that way.
And those are tough to use if you want to stencil with icing.
The thin ones or these thicker ones?
Well, this long section without a bridge, like that long stripe, right?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'd try that with the stripes though. That one in particular, of all my stripe ones, that one moves around so much. All right, so how about we switch over and we do a little bit of the blue, and we'll do some stars, and I'll show you both of the colors on that as well. I do have some Tinker Dust here today. I think I told you guys recently, I just got that in. So I'm testing several colors of that out. Okay, so here we go. This is so nice, especially if you're new to airbrushing. Oh, look, did you see what I just did?
No, awesome.
Just that fast, I sprayed myself everywhere. All right, hold on just a sec. Well, that's not going to come off, so I'm going to have Smurf hands, Mar. So let's go here.
Something that happens.
That's right. New airbrush, getting used to the pressure. Did you see how fast that color went down?
Well, also, sometimes you're using it and the battery's going down and it's kind of like blowing not as hard, and then you charge it up and then you're like, ooh.
I know, I got a lift in that. Now I'm going to set this back down because I do want to show you, you know what, let's just do another cookie because I did so many of them. I think this would be more fun. So let's hit this with a little color, and I'm going to do the blue again. And I'm just kind of shielding my other cookies since this one has so much force. It's new. This gun is new, so I haven't played with it that much. So here we go. Here's some soft blue.
What's your brand again that you like?
The airbrush.
Carol is asking about your glitter.
Oh, I'm trying out. I love sugar art. I love all the colors. I think I now own all the colors. The sugar art, the diamond dust sugar art. But I'm testing out this new one. I got these in to test for 4th of July and Christmas. So I also got a green one. So I'm just trying to show you what those look like. So on one side, I did the blue on top of blue. And now let me show you what the yellow on top of that blue looks like. If I were going to do a lot of these, see, and I did have a run because the pressure was too much on my gun. So if I had had the silk screening, it would have held it in place, and that would have been better on this one. But you can see the gold on top of the blue versus blue on top of blue. So over here I have shimmer, but it's the same. It's tone on tone. And over here I have the gold. In person, it has that gasoline effect to it. So it's really pretty.
So if I can give another tip to the beginners on airbrush. So if you get an airbrush, start on paper. Pull out just some photocopy paper or copy paper and practice on the paper. Once you feel comfortable and that you've got it a little bit under control, then you move to your cookies. And so that you're more acclimated with the process.
And we're going to do just a little bit of striping. I'm not going to be using the stars. And I am going to switch back to my red coloring. Which gun is that in? See, this is why I need color-coded guns, Mar.
Well, yeah, the guns, are they all different colors, your guns?
I have a hot pink, a light pink, and a black.
So it is helpful if you can kind of make mental notes, but I barely can remember my own name. So yeah.
Well, how about we turn it this way this time?
You know what I'm imagining is a fade from blue to red.
Ooh, let's try that. Except this blue is so strong, it could go everywhere. So don't panic if it does. It might, really. Let me see. All right. Here we go. Ready? Airbrushing on camera live is always so much fun, you guys.
Oh, you're out of color.
I'm out of color, so that's good, right? We'll just swap over to the red. Now I'm just using my paper towel to shield. There we go. So as soon as I get the pressure adjusted on my new gun, that will work great. And I do like this with the red, white, and blue. That'll be so pretty. Also in your supply list today, I linked gold stars for you if you want to do some gold stars. And would somebody like to see like what the gold looks like on the whole cookie to see if you forget and want to do it later? Do you want to see what that looks like? Figured today would be a good day to play.
I don't know if I like it.
So you get sparkle. If I were going to do the whole cookie, I'd use the white one or the silver one because they just give the cookie a shimmer. But I would probably dust it on in my brush where you pump it in, and then it wouldn't be so much. Okay, so
I'm looking at your cookies. Just want to mention, you guys have trouble with your airbrush going on the cookies and you don't like that, make chocolate cookies and it won't show as much.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to tell you a minute ago. Probably what I would do if I had a specific set design and it wasn't just a play day for this, I would probably have airbrushed before I ever flooded. Like if I wanted to do the blonde cookies or a regular sugar cookie, I would have hit this all ahead of time, then flooded. But then, then you can't freeze. So it kind of depends on whether you're baking just for fun or whether you're baking for large sale volume.
Your other option is to color the cookie dough.
Oh yeah. Mar, did you play with that recently for something else?
I did. And again, it's the drip color. They have this bake-in color and it was very nice, but you have to watch them so they don't brown.
I gotcha. I was experimenting with something this weekend and I put purple coloring in it and it really got way too brown. So in your templates this week, you've got this Royal Icing transfer template to make bottle rockets. I'm going to show you that real quick. You've got this little template to make fireworks ahead of time. I'm going to show you how to pipe them right on the cookie and then show you a few I have made. And then you have a template in there with stars. So I've got 3 sizes on one for you today on that. And then, I've got a linked video to, not on that one, but on the Royal Icing transfers I did before. I have a linked video for you. So you can go back to that and see how we build strong Royal Icing transfer templates. This is also linked in your supply list, an edible ink marker. This is fabulous. I love this. And I'm just going to give you a couple quick ideas with the cookies we have done. This is just a bottle rocket firecracker, right? So this is just to have some fun with your cookies. You can have all of this made ahead of time. That way you can make and flood the cookie. You can freeze it. You can, when you get closer to your date, the airbrushing is going to go fast. What would make it even faster is if you can just attach your Royal Icing transfers and get a really fancy cookie. So let's just say on this blue cookie, I want to put my firecracker on. I'm just attaching it with the same color icing in case it comes out from underneath. And then the fun part about these is you can quickly just use one of your edible markers. I'm doing it in black so it shows up. You could certainly do it in blue, red, whatever marker you have. And then do you know how you usually launch these? Mar, do you guys ever do fireworks?
Not really.
When you launch these particular bottle rockets, there's usually a stick that you hold for the launching, right? And then you light it up.
You hold it in your hand?
Yeah. Some of the small ones, you can hold them. I've only ever done those a couple times because I'm kind of afraid of them. The noise and everything bothers me, but I've done it a few times at the beach. So I'm just coming through here and, drawing the little tail and I'm drawing the stick. So you can accent that however you'd like. And then I thought it would be pretty on here. You guys just start thinking about what you might want to do on these cookies for 4th of July. So I just made some stars. I did them in gold. And then I put a little bit of the 10 karat gold by Sugar Art on them. Right. And then I just thought it'd be pretty. You can add these and then you've got a fully done cookie and you can make a whole lot of these and go really fast for the holiday. So I'm going to slide this one out of the way. Let's pull let's pull this one in. And then this is one of the firework things. I piped this one really thick. You could do it thinner. I piped it super thick because I wanted you to see that you could add enough icing that you could add candies in the center. So I'm just going to roll this off. I've also got my bags, my cello bags linked on there because I like to have the nice thin transfers. These can be made way ahead. I tested all of these colors last year for the 4th of July. These did not start to fade. You know, that's the one thing I have trouble with on my transfers. I try not to keep them too terribly long because I find that after 6 months, the color fades a little bit. So I did test these colors though, because they're such dark colors, and these were good for over 8 months before I noticed any of that happening. So just basic striped cookie. We added some glitter. We come back and add our little firework. Then, you know, right now, this is the Walmart collection for 4th of July. So there's lots of options in here if you want to go back and add some candy. I pulled out some little stars, and you can go back and add those on super easy as well if you want to. I'll just do one to show you what it would look like on the cookie. But, you know, you're just creating something fun and something the kids will like. This cookie in particular looks great on a lollipop stick if you want to do some baking for that.
Oh, yes, cute.
Right? Like to make them your outdoor centerpieces, since cupcakes and icing and all that is really tough around here when it's too hot in the summertime.
For the beginners, sometimes it's obvious for us, Amy, but I just want to mention, so you don't want to add your candies and all these things she's adding before you airbrush, or else your stencil's not going to lay flat.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Because I meant to mention, totally didn't even think about doing that again just now. I'm going to put a little pocket on this guy just to finish off my t-shirt. You could make this as a transfer ahead of time if you want to too. But this is a great way to just get a little bit of detail, but it's still very obvious that you're doing a red, white, and blue cookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started playing with these a little bit more because I actually have a large wedding for the 4th of July. And so I kept the colors out beyond Memorial Day just to go ahead and start getting ready for that. And I have a really cool fairy and gnome wedding coming up. They're doing the bridal shower and then part of the wedding in that whole theme at this beautiful, like, enchanted garden place.
A gnome wedding.
Yes. I can't wait. We're doing all kinds of specialty little desserts for them. So there you've got that. If you want to go the extra step, make it really read 4th of July, you can drop in a little star candy on the pocket. And you can always hit it with some more glitter. But I just want to get you thinking, with stencils you probably already own that you may have purchased for something else, you can make a really cute collection. I did, you know, the majority of these with the stripes, but you can add in the stars. There's a couple of stencils out on the market right now that are big firework displays. Those would be beautiful. And to do a fade, like Mar suggested, from one color into another. But this is a way that you can do a lot of cookies ahead of time, get them frozen. That way you're ready to roll for that holiday. One of the things I thought you could come back and do here too, if you happen to have any of the gold the edible gold you can paint with, whichever brand, the toxic or non-toxic, whatever you're in. This one, when I actually photograph it, when I do these later, I'm going to go back and paint that gold with the metallic so that I just have another little layer of pop on my cookie. Again, something that could be done ahead of time. So hopefully it'll give you some ideas.
Well, those are all great cutters too. The star is very versatile. That t-shirt, I love a t-shirt cutter. I mean, you could put a Pokemon on a t-shirt, like you're using it there for your Memorial Day. It's like really versatile. And then the flag, a beach towel.
Absolutely. This looks great as a beach towel. This is really good too. What did we use this for last year? I didn't actually have this in because it was a flag cutter. I got it for something else. I think we did a raft out of this, like for the pool. We did something and had the wavy lines on it with the beach that we did last year. But all of these are great. And, you know, I in particular like this star because it's not, you know, most stars, when you draw it, it would be straight across, right? You can see this one almost looks like it's popping up out of the middle. So this cutter to me just like screams fireworks and things bursting and rising in the air. So that's why I like that star. But any star would work for this project.
Very nice. Well, thank you, Amy. Everybody's loving it.
Well, good.
I love your glitter.
I know. Well, this explosion, this should be blooper reel right here.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like from my side is no sound. You had your technical issues. There's always got to be something. The joys of live streaming. The joys of live streaming. What do you want?
Which we love, right? I love interacting with everybody, so it's so much fun. So, guys, Mar just mentioned Pokemon. Do any of you play Pokemon? I'm not a Pokemon person, but my sister and brother-in-law play. Apparently, there's some big thing coming out in July, some big tournament.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mentioned Pokemon because years ago I did a Pokemon on a T-shirt, and it just, it's like so many characters. The kids love so many different things. And if you have to buy a cookie cutter for each thing, and it's like their moment, they like something for a week and then they like something else. So the T-shirt's kind of one of those shapes where you can kind of like switch it out. You know, when they're 3, they like Spider-Man. And then when they're, 10, they like maybe, I don't know, Pokemon. And then, and then in high school, you can even do like their sports team on it,
Right.
So it's one of those cutters.
I've done this for a corporate T-shirt too. They had me reproduce a T-shirt that had their company logo on it for their 4th of July picnic that they do, their company picnic. So it's very versatile, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So is that one of the things that you put in your supply list?
No, the T-shirt's not in there.
You guys can find it easily.
Yeah, we did it. It's linked in 2 or 3. It's either in one of yours or Amber's and Hands that it's linked in there.
Okay.
I did want to tell you too, if you guys enjoyed my sister on Sunday, Mar, did you get to tune in at all on Sunday? When I
saw after the fact, but I didn't see it. Like I just saw after the fact.
It's taken me a year to get her to come on camera with me. So you guys were so great and hospitable to her. I really appreciate it. And now she wants me to do the specialty character that is getting released for that big tournament that's coming up in July. So she's sending me pictures and we'll see how I do. But she's trying to heap the stress on me, the pressure, right? Like, I'll give it to you at the last minute. Let's see how you perform.
Oh, there, Jeremy's putting your shop up for you. Thank you, Jeremy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I enjoyed your live.
I have lost everyone's comments, Mara. I can't see anybody's comments now.
I don't know if there's something wrong then, you know what I mean? Because I see everything here.
I could see it when I was popping them up and down, but now they're gone. I can't see any of them. So guys, if I missed something, I'm sorry. Just post it and I'll check on my Facebook page later.
You can see, if you're on Facebook, we can see the comments after the live is over. YouTube erases them for whatever reason. We can only interact while the live is actually happening.
Right.
So what is this about, Amy?
That's the Shiba Inu coin for the cryptocurrency.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I made on the fly. She, a few hours ahead of time, sent me that photograph via text message to the left and said, this is what I want you to make. Can you make this in a couple of hours? And I was like, of course I can. I didn't know if I could make it or not. I don't have a stencil cutting machine here, like hooked up and ready to roll. But I think I did okay. I used what's the video, Mark? Because someone emailed me and asked me, what is the video where you recently did the tissue transfer method?
That's Amber's technique. I've never done that particular technique.
Oh, so it must have been hers, because I linked 2 videos, a stained glass window going back to Amber for them to see that in detail. And I linked the other one that I found for her on Friday, but I thought you had done something too.
I did a tutorial in the group with the Chihuahua cookie. It's in the coffee shop, and I share a new, I invented a new thing, but it's with your wafer paper. And so it's a different technique than Amber's. And
so I must have seen it with Amber then, right?
No doubt.
Okay.
So this is it's June 1st. And so I released a bunch of tutorials in the Cookie School group, and that B box, I'm calling it, is in the coffee shop. It's exclusively in the coffee shop. So those are my 3 new tutorials, all of them available in the coffee shop, but the watermelon and the teacups are in the group.
I love your colors for the watermelon. That's your new things, right?
Right. I'll put them up a second. Yeah, that's the drip color, the new drip color that I've been trying. I have to say I really liked it as well. It's I find that I might be dreaming it, but I find they look more natural.
It's beautiful. It really does. It just has that perfect color to it. It doesn't look artificial at all.
Yeah, they're powders, and like I think I mentioned, they're from Argentina, so no doubt their formulas are a bit different. So yeah, I really like them, but what's proving difficult is finding a vendor for you guys. There's not a lot of people that seem to carry their, so you have to ask for it at your favorite cake store, and they'll maybe bring them in. But it's a new company, and yeah, so their markers are available pretty widely, but not yet their colors.
Hey, Mar, look at the time. We got done on time.
We're on time.
How fun is that?
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Amy's Patriotic Cookies. I mean, a lot of occasions for, I mean, even like I see often people that are getting deployed or signing, you know, those are nice cookies to send to your loved ones or to, you know.
This stencil, I like to use this stencil to make a gingham pattern in the summertime, like for baby shower cookies and stuff. So you just really have to practice on something so that you get the clean lines. So I will test it as soon as that silk screen comes in. I bought a roll of it. As soon as that comes in, I'll tell you if it's any different. But going from the left to the right and from the top to the bottom of the stripes seemed to keep mine in place. But again, just the non-blunt end of this would have held it as well if I had worked my way down as I went. I've seen people do that before.
But less wind, like you know, building, as opposed to trying to hurry and get it all on at once is helpful.
Right. Well, this was fun, Mar, and I loved your cookies.
Oh, thank you. Well, I did a lot today. It was just more of a technical, I forget who asked for the eyes, but it's always a good one. If you look, long time now, in the live streams when I started with Han, I did a Halloween version of eyes, another live stream at the beginning when we started live streaming. If you guys are interested in eyes, there's more different versions in that video if that's something you struggle with and you want to see a little bit more of eyes. So thanks everybody. If you enjoyed it, you can check out our coffee shop. Buy me a
guys.
Amy has tea. Sweet tea.
Yeah, tea.
Thanks, everybody. And we'll see. Where's my picture here? And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.